Alright, so I have a problem in my tank and I want to show you how to solve it. Okay, I'm getting, or was getting, see if I can get the camera to focus in on it. There we go. This, a very really sharp texture, okay? Very sharp. So if you're getting something like this, here's how you solve it. Step 1, we need to check the acidity of the tank. Okay, how do you do that? A pH meter. This is the Vandercool series. Turn that on and drop it down into the tank, and I'm getting about a 0.8, somewhere around 0.8. So what I like to keep my tank in is a 0.7 to a 0.9 ratio on it. So 0.8 to 0.9, and I don't let it climb much higher than that. Now, just before this video, it was at 0.2. 0.2 is very high in acidic value, and that would have probably been part of the problem. Okay? So, if you have a tank that's high in acid, you'll get a lot of texture, and it's not a good texture to have. But that wasn't the only problem to it. So, step 1, check the acidic value. Step 2, you need to raise it or lower it. Okay? So if you want to add more acid, it makes it 0.2. If you want to get rid of acid, you need something like an alkaline. So in this case, there's 2 different versions of that. One you might heard of. Baking soda, yes, works really good. So the dangers of using baking soda is this. First, put on safety glasses, and then take about a half a cup. Take off all your bars. Make sure they're out of here, because if you don't, you'll get a very weird, see this deposit right here? That is caused from the baking soda. It won't hurt anything when it goes down into it. It might lower the pH, or raise the pH a little bit, but that's okay. So half a cup, put it in there. This is a 3-gallon bath, and then what you do is you wait till it simmers down. Wait about 5 minutes after that, and then check your levels. Okay. The other way you can do it is you can go to your home improvement store, go to the pool section, and look for pH+. This is sodium carbonate, okay, which is also a way to raise the pH value. So lower the pH, the more acid. The higher the pH, less acid. Now, what you'll do is you'll put like a single ring or something like that in there and see if you start getting those bumps. If you do, then it's a chloride problem. Okay? You don't have any. Now, certain times, like really chloride makes a really smooth texture. So let me show you what that means. Let's see if I can get that to focus in on it. This is a newer ring. So you can see no texture whatsoever. Now, the thing is, if you want texture, you might not want a whole lot of chloride, that's for sure, because it really does level out things. So use sparingly. I'll show you how to add it here in a sec. Another thing is, if you add too much chloride, you will ruin your electroforming bath. Okay? So, use with caution. My original formula for this, I didn't add any chloride, and that's why I get a lot of texture. But it gets to the point where it gets so, and we're talking like chloride levels can be, you could just take a drop of your household water where they add chlorine to it, and then one drop is good enough for probably the entire bath. So it's very sensitive as far as chloride goes. Now, a very controlled way to do it, there's a couple. I'm just going to go over one though, because the other one takes a lot of steps. And this one is muriatic acid. Okay, so go out and find muriatic acid. Muriatic acid is actually hydrochloric acid, but it's very common to find muriatic acid in your home improvement store. So what you do, you go and find the area where they're cleaning. You can find brick cleaner or concrete tool cleaner. And most of the time they keep it outside, and you can definitely spot it. It's in usually a gallon jug, and it has a big bag around it. Very common in the United States. I'm not sure what they do in Europe or anything like that to clean concrete, but I'm sure they have something. You're looking for muriatic acid. Once you find muriatic acid, this is again a 3-gallon bath. So for me, I add 2 of these. Okay, so I fill it up as much as I can to about right here, and then I squirt in a couple. Actually, I've done it up to 4 before, so you want it just small quantities, let it climb. And 2 eyedropper fulls is actually good enough for this bath and actually keep a little bit of texture in there. If you're still getting bumps after that, which I highly doubt you are, that is a contamination problem. And in order to solve that one, you just run your fluid through a very, very fine micron bag. Okay, so you can go up to like 5 microns. If you go to any place that sells vacuum cleaners, they sell vacuum cleaner bags. Check the micron value of it, and then get the highest micron value you can. Rip open the bag, and then put it in a funnel. Okay, and then filter your liquid through that funnel, the whole batch. Clean out your tank on the bottom. Clean out everything, and then put all your liquid back in. That'll solve your contamination issue. Nice. So I've been pointing this camera at this blue liquid for 8 minutes. Kind of boring, right? While I talk. But really, those are the steps that I usually take, and it works out every time. So I was having that texture quite bad, and now I'm getting no rough texture whatsoever. Sometimes when you do a lot of pH changing to your tank, it does take like almost 30 minutes before effects go into play. So don't, just keep adding stuff and subtracting stuff. Wait 30 minutes and then try it out. Another good way to do this is get a copper plate. This one just happened to have texture to begin with, so it was not really contaminated, but what I'm looking for is the bumps more than anything else. So in this case, they had some bumps already on the outside edge of this piece, and it had some values in it right about in here. Let me get this to focus in on it. but you'll see if your chloride levels is right, it'll start filling in gaps and valleys a lot better. So when there's a gap or a valley, that gap in a valley will actually fill in the texture before it fills out. It is so crazy. And that's what it is, it's leveling. So chloride allows it to level a lot better. It also keeps your tank clean. If you look down here, see how black my anode is? That blackness that's on the anode is almost like an anode cover. It's a natural anode cover. That's the phosphorus. But if you look at the bottom, I don't have any buildup of like weird copper goo at the bottom of it because I use pipe 1 and the chloride levels are quite balanced in this tank, making that black appear. You'll find that you use a lot less copper now. You see that blackness? That means you have chloride in your tank somewhere. If you see a white and a black, that means your chloride levels are too high on your anode. And then you'll start getting a texture again if your chloride levels is way too high. But the only way to solve that is trash out your tank, or and the other way is way too technical to get into. In fact, I've never done it. It has to do with like eliminating chloride out of the water. Cool. So I hope this video helped. If you have anything, again, we have a nice Facebook group called Electroforming something. So it's the only electroforming actual place on Facebook. You can join the group and talk about electroforming stuff. All right. You have a good one.